Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Piyush and this is video number 40 in series CK 2024. And this video will be looking into JSON from the beginner's perspective and JSONPath, which is a query language to parse JSON data to get some meaningful results out of it and filter it based on your requirements. And we'll also be looking into how we can use JSONPath to run advanced kubectl commands against your cluster data, workloads, and so on. So the comments and like target for this video will be 150 likes and 100 comments in the next 24 hours. That's pretty reasonable target that we have set. I'm sure you can do that. And without any further ado, let's start with this video. Into JSON path or the advanced kubectl queries or commands, let's first have a look at JSON. What exactly is JSON? Keeping in mind that you are beginner to JSON, because till now we have covered YAML based syntax in all the Kubernetes manifest, and I give a brief introduction about JSON in the beginning where we have looked into YAML. So let's look JSON in more depth, like what it is, how it is different from YAML and so on, right? So I am in my Kubernetes cluster. I'm gonna run kubectl get nodes command, right? So when it is happening, actually, what is happening behind the scene is your client. Let me go back to the eraser. Okay. So what is happening? Let's say you are a user. Okay. Here you are. And then you are actually interacting with your server with the help of kubectl command, right? So here's your server. This is, consider this as a server, Kubernetes server or node control plane, whatever you can call it. And you are doing it with the help of kubectl. Let's use command. So here's your kubectl command that you are running. User, and then here is kubectl. So when you run any command, let's say I just ran kubectl get nodes over here. So this is the command I ran, get nodes. This kubectl utility will interact with the API server and it will actually issue an API call with the server. So let's say a get request to get the running nodes. And then the server will respond back with the results, which is actually a JSON payload, right? We'll look into that, what exactly is the JSON. For now, just understand, when you send a request to a server, when a client send a request to a server, in return you will get a JSON payload. So kubectl understand the results or the response in the JSON format, and then this kubectl return the results to you in a human readable format, right? Like, I hope you understand till here. If we go back now and you see these results over here, in the form of a header and then separated by a tab, every result in a new line. This is in a human readable format. But this is not how API server returned the results. This was converted by kubectl utility. So how it would have returned the results? So if we run kubectl get nodes hyphen o JSON, this is how it would have returned the results. It had a lot of additional details that we don't want to print on the server, right? It has your image details, image size, node info, and a hell lot of metadata and so on that we don't want to be printed. We just want a simple readable format, which is something like this, right? And we can also return in the YAML format by just replacing hyphen o with hyphen o YAML. Okay, and you will get the result something like this. Okay, so there are multiple cases when we want not just these details. Let's say we want some additional details as well, right? We want image details, or we want the kernel version, container runtime version, and so on. So how do we do that? We do that by querying this particular result set. So the result that we got in the JSON format, we actually have to query those results, and then we use JSON path for that. So now let's see what exactly is JSON, how it is different from YAML. So let's say you run a command kubectl run. Okay, let me go back to the directory. Oh, Where are we? Home Ubuntu. Okay, it's fine. So let's run the command kubectl run, and I'm gonna create a pod with the name nginx with the image nginx, and I will be doing a dry run client. Okay, this command we have used multiple times throughout the series, so I'm sure it will be easy now. And then instead of hyphen o YAML, we'll be using hyphen o JSON. And then I'm going to redirect this to a file. Let's call pod.json. Okay. And I'm going to do the same to show you head to head comparison. I'm going to do the same for YAML as well. So pod.yaml, and instead of hyphen o JSON, I'll be using hyphen o YAML. Okay. So now I should have two files generated over here. Let's do this. Let me do a cat on pod.yaml. Okay, and let me open a new terminal to show you the head-to-head comparison. So let's do another bash terminal, and split terminal. Okay, and let me get the command from here. PS1. Okay, and let's do a cat on pod.json. All right, let's clear the screen and do that again. Okay, so that's the main comparison between YAML and JSON. So in YAML, you see we have separated the field with spaces and line breaks. So that is the indentation that we have used. And in JSON format, everything is there in the curly braces, right? So everything that is there in the curly braces is a dictionary. Like dictionary is a data type which has key value pair, basically, right? So this is the root dictionary that we have, because like it is at the root level and there is no upper block to it. So this is the root level dictionary. Okay, and then we have the sub dictionaries. Like over here, metadata is a sub dictionary which is inside the curly braces. So everything that starts and ends with curly braces is a dictionary. So this metadata is a dictionary, and it has key value pairs, right? And same way, this entire JSON file is a dictionary, and this is the root level dictionary. So when we have to access certain values in this JSON, what we do, we actually do that with the help of the actual element name and the path. So how do we do that? We start with the dictionary, like the root dictionary dot. Let's say we want to get the label of it, right? So we do dictionary. Let me. So what we'll do is we start with dollar. Dollar is the root level dictionary dot, and then we have to go inside that and then metadata. So metadata dot, inside metadata we have labels, so dot labels. Okay, so this will return you the output of labels from here, right? So now what we have to do is we have to, like, this is in the normal JSON path how it works, but in Kubernetes we actually append the command to it. So whatever the command that we had ran earlier, so let's say this one. Okay, let's actually apply this YAML first. So kubectl apply hyphen f pod dot YAML or pod dot JSON. You can do anything. Right? Ubuntu kubectl apply pod dot YAML apply hyphen f. Oh, I did not set the alias, so let me do that. Apply hyphen f pod dot YAML. Okay, it's created. Now let's do kubectl get from nginx pod hyphen o JSON. What was the name? kubectl get pods. The name is nginx. Okay, I did not do get pods. Kubectl get pods. Okay, grep nginx. So this is the pod. Okay, so instead let me just clean up this a little bit. I'm just gonna delete everything else. Kubectl get deploy ctl. Okay. Okay, so I did some cleanup now. Now if I'm gonna do kubectl get pods, so there is only one pod, and I can do -o JSON to print the JSON output of it, right? So now what I needed the field metadata dot label, right? So which we have already seen how we can get that. So I'm just gonna um, open the JSON on the left side now that we have seen the difference between a YAML and a JSON. So I'm gonna do cat pod.json. Okay, it's not a pretty format, but I guess you get the idea. So we need dollar dot metadata dot label, right? So I'm gonna do k get pods, okay, and then I'm gonna add -o equal to JSON path, because we'll be specifying the JSON path now, the field that we want equal to, okay, and then we add the dollar. We should have added the dollar if it was not Kubernetes, but because Kubernetes kubectl command add the dollar by itself, so we don't have to do that, right? So we'll start with dot metadata dot labels, and then which label do we want? Run label, or let's say all the labels. So let's start with the labels first, and then we put everything inside the curly braces. Okay, this JSON path expression that we have written, we put everything in curly braces and then inside the single colons. Okay, so that's how we do. And if we hit enter, it's not showing anything because we have not specified the name of the label. So let's put labels dot run. Okay, it's still not showing anything. Maybe we have done some mistake. So let's see what it should be. In fact, let's go to the Kubernetes documentation and let's see what are we doing incorrectly over here. So over here, and the document that you should be referring for this is cheat sheet or the quick reference guide. And you go down where they are using the kubectl commands with JSON path. So the way you do it is this is a little advanced, which we'll be looking into in some time. So let's see. Okay, so this is how it is. It says dot items dot metadata dot name. Okay, and what are we doing over here is dot metadata, and inside metadata we have labels. Yeah, and the label name is run. Do we need to add items as well? So let me try this. No. Okay, because item is nothing that's visible over here. So so I'm not getting any results back. That means I'm not specifying this query correctly. And I guess the reason for that would be because I'm not using the same syntax as there in the JSON. So when I created the JSON, when I output the dry client output in the JSON, it has a different JSON value. So if I do cat pod.json, the value that it has, it is in this format. But now I'm doing a kubectl get pods. So now the output will be different. So let's see what the output is if I'm gonna do kubectl get pods -o JSON. Okay, if I'm gonna do this now, so it has a lot of additional metadata now. And you see, if we check it over here, if we go at the very beginning, so we have the root dictionary, then there is another items field over here. Now this item starts with square bracket, that means it is a list. Okay. List is like in YAML, when we saw the list, it was there with the hyphen. Like we could add multiple fields inside a dictionary. If it is a list, that would be hyphen, hyphen name, hyphen image, hyphen ports, and so on, right? So in JSON, we specify it with the help of square brackets and then separated by comma. So that's this item. This is the first item that it has. Okay. And then separated by comma, this is the second item over here. And then the third item would be this spec. So everything that is separated by inside the square bracket is the list item. And this list item again is a dictionary. So I'm sure like it is a little confusing for you for now, but just understand everything that starts with curly braces inside a JSON is a dictionary that holds value in key value pair, and everything inside square bracket is a list that holds different values, and it could be a dictionary, it could be a key value pair, it could be simple values such as ABC and so on, right? It could be anything. Yeah, so what we were looking into, we need to get the values for a label. So now the label is inside an array or a list which is named as items. Okay, and then inside that items we have metadata and then labels. Okay, so our command should change a little bit now. So over here we start with dot and then items dot metadata, and then inside metadata we have labels and then the run label. Okay, now it could have multiple items, so how would it know that we have to get through the first item, right? So we use square bracket and then 0. 0 will be the first element. So if you know about array or list, the first element starts with 0 and then 1 2 3 and so on. So if it has, let's say, 3 elements, so the position will be 0 1 and 2. Okay, so the first element is at 0th location. So if we hit enter now, we are still not getting anything. Maybe we are still missing something. So if we do items dot meta, oh, I misspelled it, sorry about that. Metadata dot labels, and still not showing anything. And if I'm gonna do this, maybe I was doing some mistakes. So let's look at that from beginning. So if we do k get pods, okay, hyphen o equal to JSON path equal to, and I've said everything would be there in the single quotes followed by curly braces. Okay, and inside that curly braces we have to provide the details of the path of the field that we want. So if we go over here and it starts with items, so let me show you this once again. Okay, it starts with items. Items is an array or it's a list. So we need to get the first element of the array. Okay, so for that we'll be doing dot metadata, sorry, dot items, and first element, that means 0th element we need, and then dot is, after that there'll be metadata, and inside metadata we have labels. Now this will not work, or it is working, sorry, sorry about that. This was not working earlier. I'm not sure why I'm using the same command. Okay, so now it returned you the value, this one, run is equal to nginx. If you want to format this a little bit more, so what we can do is we can do another braces over here, right? And let's not end this over here. Let's use this and the single quotes, and inside that we can do slash n. Slash n, if you know, is for the line break. So if we do like this, I guess it's the other sign, this one, backslash, says it's unterminated. Let's check over here. It should be this sign, and then do we have to add end as well? I'm not sure. Let's check this. No, this was for the range. So this should, I did not close the double quotes. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me run this again over here. So now you see the command and the output is in a different line because we have used slash n with it. So you can use multiple expressions within the same JSON path query. So this is the first expression and slash n will be the second expression, right? So this is how you can query the results. You can get the values out of it. Okay, let's try another example to get more understanding of it. So currently we only took metadata.labels. Let's see if we want to check some other fields. Let's say we want the container image, okay, image name out of it. So we know it starts with items, okay. Items will be the first element, so this should be okay. Items 0th, and then inside item we have the first item as, let's say, where it is getting closed. First item will be API version kind metadata, and it's getting closed over here if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and then the second one has create timestamp label. Oh no, it's still part of it. So we have metadata and then spec. So what we need is items, 0 item, and inside that spec, then containers. Containers again has list. So inside that we again need the first element, and then the image name is nginx. So let's take some other field instead of image. Let's take the mount path. Let's take the mount path, which is inside volume mount. Okay. So I'm going to use the same command. Let's add it in the same one. And instead of labels and metadata, now we need spec. Inside spec, we have containers, which is again an array or a list. And inside that, we need 0th element. If it's not visible, I guess, let me scroll my screen to the left. Okay. And then we have, let's take the image name first. Okay, it's showing the image name as nginx. Now, instead of image name, what we need is mount path, which was inside volume mounts. So I'm going to copy the field from here, and volume mount is a field inside the container. Okay, so I'm going to paste it over here, volume mounts dot mount path. Okay, I might have, okay, I misspelled it. So it should be mount path. Okay, let's see. What did I do this time? Containers. Inside containers, we have another array. The volume mount is an array again. So let's put that again. We need the 0th element dot mount path. And now it is showing the mount path correctly. So here are the results. Let me clean the screen and run this command again. Okay, now we are seeing the mount path again. So let's say if we want to run kget nodes, and instead of all these details, right, what we need is some additional details. So if we do k hyphen o wide, yes, you can get additional details, but there are many details that you don't want. Let's say you only want the node name and you only want the internal IP, right, in the same command. So for that, what you will be doing is you'll be running the same command hyphen o wide, or let's say hyphen o equal to JSON path, and what we need is node name. So let's put that inside the brackets. Okay, and node name will be, but we need to know the structure of the node name first, right? So let's do a kget nodes hyphen o JSON. Okay, and let's go to the very top of it. Okay, that is huge actually. Okay, so it starts with items. And inside item there'll be um name. Okay, so items and then name. And then we have internal IP would be there in status, addresses, and address. Okay, which is again a zeroth element. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So first is k get nodes hyphen o equal to JSON path. For now, we'll do it one by one so that it's not getting confusing. So inside that we need dot items. Let's take all the elements of the items. If we do star, which is a wildcard, so it will print out everything, right? So now we have to add the filters to it. So now we have added items star dot. Now we need, let me open that over here. K get nodes hyphen o JSON. Okay. So we need items, and then inside items we have name. Okay. So let's try to get the name first. Inside item we have dot name. Okay, it's not showing anything. Inside item dot star, and then should be inside metadata. That's what I believe. Yeah, it should be inside metadata. So metadata dot name. Okay, so now it's showing master worker 1 worker 2, which is right. And now let's add line break to it. So inside the curly braces, if it's not visible like this, we have seen earlier as well, so nothing new about this, slash n, and now it should print in the next line. Okay, right. Okay, so we are now getting the node names. What else do we need? Now we need the internal IP of the node. Okay, and let's add header to it as well. So instead of that, let's do hyphen hyphen. So there is a property called custom path. So if you go over here, and let me see if it's there in this document. If it's not there, it will be there in the quick reference. So okay, let me search custom path. Okay, custom columns. So what you do instead of hyphen o JSON path, you will add hyphen o equal to custom columns, and then the column name followed by the query that we have. Okay, so let's use that. Let's use hyphen o column name equal to this. Okay. And it should be in place of this. Okay, so custom column name equal to node name, or let's call it just node colon equal to, let's see, there is something missing. There is okay, we don't need the braces now, or we can add the braces, it's fine. We just don't need that single quotes because it's already there in this custom column field. It says custom colon equal to node name items metadata dot name not found. Let's see if we did any mistake over here. So we have dot metadata. Yeah, I guess these won't work. The curly braces won't work over here. Or I have added equal to sign. This is not needed. Um, so custom column equal to node name equal to uh node name colon and then the value. Oh, I did not specify hyphen o. Damn it. So hyphen o equal to custom columns. Now it is printing the node names, but it is not printing the value of it. Let's see what we did. So now header is there, okay, but node items metadata dot name, earlier it was printing it from here. Let's try to add this colon back. I'm actually doing this for the first time after a really long time, so there are a lot of mistakes as you can see, but I'll leave some practice test for you in the GitHub repository so that you can do it. Should we inside this? No, it's not printing the values for it. It did print over here items.metadata.name. Let's see. Okay, range is an like with range.items, this is an additional way. You can write a loop through it, but it will be little advanced for now, so I'm not covering that. Um, let's see. Uh, so it should work like this. It should be get nodes, column name, node name, dot metadata dot name. Oh, why it is not taking items? I guess with custom columns, we don't specify items. That is something new for me. So if we remove this items field over here, now we are getting the values. I still have to check why it did not consider items with the custom column, because if we write the other query that we ran earlier without custom column with just the JSON path, it was taking the items and then it was returning the results. So this is how you can do. And then you can add multiple other values to it separated by colon. Let's say you can add another internal IP. Let's just call it IP colon. And inside that you can add dot. It was there in addresses something. Let's see. Okay. Status addresses. Addresses is an array and then address. Statuses dot addresses, which is an array. Take star dot address. Okay, now it's printing everything that we need, but it also prints both the fields with address and then the name of the address, which is address type. So what we need is just the name. So if we go addresses dot address, this is what we print, and then it printed this one as well, right? So there is something called, I'm going to leave that in the practice test. So there is something called you can add the expression where to print only the address where type is internal IP, right? So you can check the reference from here. It will be here somewhere in the JSON path support document, I guess. So you need to write question mark and inside the brackets you have to add at the rate dot address dot type is internal IP. Only that IP address will be returned, right? So I will leave that up to you to complete that. But this is what we have at this moment. Okay, we have node and IP. So these two are the custom column names that we have created over here for the IP address, and you just have to print these IP addresses excluding the node name, which we have already seen, right? And you can add different other fields as per your requirement, but this is what I wanted to cover from the exam perspective. This is some basics fundamentals of JSON path and JSON and so on. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do as much as hands-on on this, because I have done this after a really long time. So I was facing some difficulties. I was able to do it, but then I had to go back and through to the documentation and to the JSON file format and so on. So make sure you understand it. Make sure you are able to get the value. Make sure you are able to query the value inside the JSON and able to retrieve the value that's been asked in the interview. Okay, and there is one more thing that I forget. So let me go back quickly. I just remembered it. So let's say if you are doing k get nodes, okay, and you have to sort the output based on certain conditions, right? So what you can do is you can add hyphen hyphen sort by, and then again the field, like let's say you have to sort it with the metadata. So let's go to items star dot metadata dot name. Okay, which command did we use earlier? Metadata dot name and items dot metadata dot name. Let me check this one. So we were using this. Now instead of JSON path items star dot metadata dot name, it should be like this, or maybe we don't add items in this one as well. Yeah, sorry about that. So yes, again similar to custom column, we don't add the items field over here. And if we do, it will sort it with the name, or you can sort it with, let's say it's currently sorted and I don't see any other thing. So let's, if we do k get pods, we have one. Let's start one more pod, k run nginx, or k run redis hyphen hyphen image equal to redis, and let's run more. Let's call it a redis, k run, what is that? Oh, capital A would not work. So here it is. Now we have this output k get pods, and it's currently, again it's sorted by the name. Let's sort it by the age. Okay, so if we do k get pods hyphen hyphen sort by equal to dot metadata dot timestamp, I guess this is the correct value. No, um metadata dot name. Okay, it's sorted. And for timestamp, I guess there is a different field, k get pods hyphen or JSON. Let's see the timestamp, or it should be start time or something else. Let's go over here. Okay, it should be creation timestamp. Okay, so instead of metadata dot timestamp, we add creation timestamp, and now it's been sorted based on the time that it was created. So nginx 52 minutes, then 88 seconds, and 75 seconds. So this is how you can use sort by. This is again important from the exam perspective, and from like from a Kubernetes admin perspective point of view. Okay, so yeah, that's all I wanted to cover as part of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'm sure you will find it helpful. If you do, let me know in the comment section below, and try to complete the task and likes and comment target for this video. And I will see you soon with the next video. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Happy learning.